Hey everyone, long time no see. If you can't tell by the change in menu, I am not in the States yet. I'm actually still in Indonesia, and since I am still abroad, I thought I'd make another video about traveling with a J-pouch. And I know I already have another video about this, but since I have acquired more travel experience with my J-pouch in the past few months, I thought I'd make an updated version with some new travel tips and just talking a bit about my traveling experiences, since I've gotten some questions from J-pouchers who are looking to go abroad in the future. And pretty much all of my tips that I mentioned in my last video still stand, so if you are thinking of going abroad, definitely check that out as well. And in that video, I mentioned taking a roll of toilet paper with you, which I still highly recommend, but now I have sort of a modified version of that tip, which is to bring a few packs of these. These are tissue packets, and they can be a real lifesaver at times, because if you have a J-pouch, sometimes you just need to go to the bathroom, no matter how unappealing that bathroom is or whether or not it has toilet paper. And especially if you're in Southeast Asia, which is where I'm at, they really like their wet bathrooms, which is where you don't use toilet paper to clean yourself, you use a hose and spray water yourself, which isn't very conducive for me since my rectum is a bit excoriated and I don't want to leave that moisture there, so that's where these come in, and it's sort of like instant toilet paper, and they're small enough that you can just throw it in your bag or in your pocket, and they're not really a big hassle to carry around, so I definitely recommend bringing these. And that's the only new packing tip I have, but I have had more experience with flying with my J-pouch. I can definitively say that my J-pouch is affected by the pressurization of the plane cabin, and it usually causes me to become bloated and develop some gas pain pretty much right after takeoff, and it stays throughout the entire duration of the flight, no matter what I have or haven't eaten beforehand. Which unfortunately means that I usually have to use the plane toilet at least once during the flight, no matter how short the flight is. But there are some things that can be a bit comforting about the plane bathroom. For one thing, you can modify your seat preferences. I've always been a window seat person, but now I opt for the aisle seat just so I don't have to keep walking over people to get to the bathroom. But if you are like me and you like the window seat, I let myself have the window seat if it's a flight less than an hour, just because people usually don't mind if you have to walk over them one time. And I haven't tried this yet, but if you get stuck in the middle seat, I'd suggest maybe talking to the attendants when you're checking in for your flight and explain that you have a medical condition that needs you to go to the bathroom multiple times. If there any way you can get the aisle seat. So, and then another travel tip I have for a J-poucher who's really excited about traveling, but also a bit apprehensive, would be to first take a short solo trip. I love traveling with my family and my friends, but traveling by yourself is an entirely different experience, which I feel like is a beneficial one for J-pouchers, just because when you travel by yourself, you create your travel itinerary based solely on your own whims. So if you need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the day, stop and go to the bathroom in the middle of the day. You're not interrupting anything, because your travel plans are based entirely on what you want to do and what you need to do. And in that moment, you need to go to the bathroom. So you go do that, come back, and get back to whatever it is that you want to do. Whereas when I've been traveling with family or friends, I'm usually a bit more conscious about my J-pouch and about my bathroom frequency. Because when I need to stop and go to the bathroom, it feels like I'm interrupting their plans or breaking up the day's activity, which is something that I haven't felt when I've traveled by myself. And then along the same lines, since you are creating your own travel itinerary based on your preferences, that gives you the chance to really get to know yourself better. And it gives you more of an opportunity to reflect on things. And, when you've been through what we've been through, that's not a bad thing, to have that time to reflect on your life. So not only have I gotten to know myself better as a person, I've gotten to know my body better and my traveling J-pouch and how it reacts to being in a different place and eating different food, and I can take that and apply that to traveling with a group, because I'm now more aware of what my body needs when I'm traveling. So yeah, I definitely recommend traveling by yourself for the first time and sort of seeing how that goes. And as far as my traveling experience as a whole, I have to admit I've been pleasantly surprised at how little my J-pouch has impacted my travel itinerary. For the first time since my diagnosis, I've just been so wrapped up in the fun and excitement of each day's adventures that I haven't really thought about my J-pouch or bathroom frequency or my health issues, and I'm just so grateful that being abroad has given me that opportunity. Um, and that's not to say that, there haven't been times that I've had to give a second thought about whether or not I should do this because of my J-pouch. Food is a big one. Initially I was concerned about whether or not I was going to be able to try out all these new foods and eat everything that I wanted to all the time. And street food. I went to Thailand and they're, have renowned street food, but I already go to the bathroom a lot, and, what happens if I get a parasite from the street food? I'll spend my entire life in the bathroom. Is it worth the risk? But ultimately, food is a major component of traveling for me. I create my travel itinerary based on where I want to eat. So I told myself, I'm not going to allow my J-pouch to dictate this or allow me to compromise on this aspect. And I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I ate so much street food in Thailand. If I saw anything remotely interesting, I would grab it. When I was in Israel, I was on a culinary trip, so we were pretty much eating every hour of every day. And I'm so glad that I didn't allow my J-pouch to limit what I ate, because I ate a lot of incredible food, and I really didn't notice an increase in my bathroom frequency that inhibited me doing anything else that it is I wanted to do. And there are other activities that I gave a second thought about when I was planning. For example, I went ziplining in a jungle, and initially I was concerned, what happens if I need to go to the bathroom and I'm on top of some tree? Or will I be able to hold everything in with the harness? But ultimately, I decided to go, and I had no issues and just had an incredible time. And another thing that I've learned this round of traveling is that sometimes we're going to have issues, but we have no choice but to figure out how to handle those issues in that moment. So there's really no point in worrying about the issues and not doing something because of them, because once you're in the situation, you'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to handle it. And that's not to say that I haven't had issues this trip. If I thought I had embarrassing poop stories before I came here, I don't know what I was thinking, because I've far surpassed every one of my embarrassing poop stories since being here. And I guess this is sort of relevant. I'm currently dealing with a medical issue related to my J-pouch. A few days ago I noticed that I had a hard mass that formed underneath my incision, and it looks like it's most likely an incisional hernia. And I can't really comment too much on how I've resolved dealing with a medical issue while abroad, just because it's still playing out for me. But I can definitely say that it is a bit harder to handle this medical issue abroad than it is at home. I'm having trouble getting a hold of my doctors because of time differences and things like that. So yeah, again, it's not like it's easy, and it's not like I don't, I don't want you to think, because I'm saying I've had this phenomenal time, that I haven't had any problems with my J-pouch. It's just that compared to the incredible time that I have had abroad, all of my J-pouch problems seem so minimal. And I'm so glad that I didn't allow my J-pouch to stop me from traveling, and I don't think you should let it stop you from exploring the world. So definitely let me know where you're taking your J-pouch, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Alright, bye. Let's take a trip around the world today.